Welcome back. President Biden's vaccine mandate could have a devastating effect on the border crisis. According to an internal report from Customs and Border Protection, 48% of agents have not responded to the vaccine reporting mandate. If all of those agents have not gotten their COVID shot, the agency will be forced to let 59% of those people on patrol go. Joining me right now is Texas Congressman, House Small Business Committee Vice Ranking Member, and House Financial Services Committee Member Roger Williams. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. I mean, I'll tell you, Congressman, this goes from bad to worse. This is just incredible. Assess what we're hearing now about this vaccine mandate, that the president wants everybody, all these companies, 100 employees or more, to make sure that they're vaccinated by early January. What does that mean in terms of the Texas border and other first responders?
Well, I mean, you go down to the border now where the Border Patrol is overwhelmed, and you think about reducing them by half. It's pretty unbelievable. And we got these caravans coming up from South America, along with the others that are coming up. And it's a recipe for even more than failure. So it's a disaster, and you take it into the economy. I mean, small businesses are having to meet the same standard, and they're not going to be able to do it, and many of them are not going to want to do it.
So, I mean, what are your thoughts in terms of this mandate? I mean, and all of this impact on the economy with so many first responders quitting. It's not just the border agents, Congressman, you know that. I mean, it's also cops, troopers, firefighters, pilots, nurses.
Well, first of all, the mandate is wrong. It should be individual decisions. I think we all agree with that. But it's going to really hurt the economy. I mean, look, we have a lot of people that aren't working now, and now you're going to have even more. Many that want to work are not going to be able to work. Small businesses that hire these people are not going to be able to sell their product and so forth, and they're going to be struggling to make margins as we come into the holiday season. All the time with this promise of $450,000 coming to the illegals. I mean, imagine, Maria, you know, businesses in America don't even make anywhere near that, and to make $450,000 net in a small business is really, really hard. And so it's a horrible situation we're developing. We're going to have people in here that don't have vaccinations yet. But we're asking our Border Patrol, for example, to be vaccinated. So you can come in here with no vaccination. Yeah. You can come in here, break a law, and you get $450,000. I don't think that's the economy or America we want.
It's just extraordinary that they are actually going to do this. The DOJ clearly, you know, finalizing or thinking about this, that they want to pay $450,000 per head for people who broke the law. But I got to get your take on what's going on with this spending package, because it feels like no matter what happens, you just heard voters speak this week. You had a red wave across the country, obviously, including Virginia, and Democrats are still scrambling to get a vote on these two bills, the infrastructure and the House spending bills. Speaker Nancy Pelosi says that she wants to take them both up today. What is your take on this, and how reliable do you think that is? Are you expecting a vote despite what happened this week?
Well, I guess. I mean, she tells us that. It seems like every other day we're going to have a vote. But it's amazing to me that they're going to make the vote. I don't think they have the votes. I think when you go back to Virginia the other night, it tells everybody that America is kind of fed up with this socialistic agenda that they're trying to shove through. I mean, politically, to me, it's not even a good move. But let's vote on it. Let's get it out there. We know it's going to fail in the Senate. And get on with it. But politically, they have an agenda that America doesn't want. We saw that the other night, even in New Jersey and Denver school boards and all this. Americans are beginning to take America back over again from the socialistic ideas that these people want to perpetrate down our throat. And we haven't even seen this thing yet. Here we are this morning. We're going to vote on it. Supposedly we haven't seen it. Hadn't been scored. Nothing. And so I think it's doomed for failure. It needs to be, because when you talk about 85,000 IRS agents, for example, going to go across Main Street America to help pay for it, that's going to devastate the economy too.
Yeah. Well, it's almost as if they are completely ignoring what the voters told them this week, including the victory of Glenn Youngkin in Virginia. He joined me on this program yesterday. Here's what he said.
I think this just reflects the fact that the kitchen table issues of low taxes and great schools and safe communities, and oh, by the way, a growing economy with job opportunities, these kitchen table issues had been pushed to the background. And voters in Virginia said, no, 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 these are the most important topics for us.
Well, they certainly aren't the most important topics for Nancy Pelosi and the House Democrats, Congressman.
Well, it's not, but that's a good thing. That's probably a good thing for America, because now we're going to get it out. They're going to try to pass legislation that Americans don't want. We'll begin to get back to what America's about: lower taxes, less government, cut spending, defending borders, and that's what the American people want: good schools, and also we found out don't mess with don't mess with the baby bears. Right? We found that out too, and that's interesting. That's the issue that's brought America back, is the schools and our children, as it should be.
Yeah. Real quick, do you think that your House Democrat colleagues are going to vote on the SALT deduction? Do you think AOC is going to go for that, a higher SALT cap on deduction?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, they're just trying to help the wealthy again, so they're throwing that out there all the time. So we'll see. They talk through both sides of their mouth, and it's probably good politically for us and help us win in 2022.
Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much.
Always.
Congressman Roger Williams this morning.